In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can go out and have alcoholic drinks and not just say I'm going to have a cheat day because I'm drinking. This is how you can track it, add it to your plan, work around it that day, and you can sustain this and go out every weekend and still not gain weight, and in fact you could even lose weight as long as you're tracking it properly and accounting for it. So let's take a look at how to do that. What's important to note is that alcohol itself cannot be stored as fat in your body. But what it does is when you're drinking alcohol, it forces the mechanisms in your body that normally would burn the carbs you're eating as energy. It causes them to store those carbs as fat. So you're more likely to store fat when you're drinking alcohol. So it's important to try not to eat many carbs while you're drinking alcohol, while alcohol is in your system. So that's kind of key. The alcohol itself is not causing you to gain weight, and it's just calories. Calories are still the king. But what happens is when you go out drinking, people like to eat, a lot of foods that have carbs in it because they're out socializing, and that's kind of the food that's out and about. So just be careful with that and plan it ahead of time. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. So what I like to do is, if I know I'm going to go out drinking for dinner, I'll just add beer or whatever you're drinking. And I usually use like 805 because one serving is 141 calories, and light beer is a little bit less than that, and sometimes I'll do light beer, but I just like to be conservative. And you might just go, I'm going to have 8 beers. That's for the whole day. And now you know, okay, I'm only going to have 1,400 calories left to eat. So again, you're going to want to eat a lot of your protein earlier in the day. This is where chicken breasts are your best friend. I'm going to add 2 chicken breasts, and also protein shakes are handy for this. You might, even on this day, take like 4 servings. Like you might need to skip breakfast and then have protein for lunch. And as you can see, we only have 600 calories left, but we have a decent amount of protein, and our carbs are low and our fat is really low. So now you just got to figure out what to have for dinner that's 600 calories. And if you're drinking, you're probably going out to a restaurant. But you could have a steak would be a great choice because it's not going to have a lot of carbs. So you could have a New York strip steak. Maybe it's going to be 6-ounce steak. You should have 200 calories, and now you're over your protein. So I would recommend, you probably don't need this many. You can get away with maybe 1 chicken breast. So you're having a steak and let's say a baked potato. So what I'll do is, I know Applebee's has one, a loaded baked potato. I know that's going to have a lot of carbs, but you're not going to avoid carbs completely. So you met your protein goal. You're actually still low on carbs for the day, pretty low on fat, and you're slightly over on your calories. But you can see alcohol is a huge part of the calories. So if you're going to have the alcohol, you gotta be eating less throughout the day to account for it. Now you're probably going to burn more calories than 2,500. That's the other thing. If you're going out drinking and you're out even just hanging around at a bar, you're going to burn a decent amount of calories. So you might have about 500 more calories here to play with. Or you're going to do that, go walk for 30 minutes ahead of time, and that's another 300 calories you can do. I'll give you a better example because it seems like you're not eating much, but I'll give you an example of a night when I went out and I could have many drinks and I still ate a decent amount of food and didn't really call it a cheat day. I actually lost weight. So let me show you that example. All right, now here's an example of a crazy day, okay? This is maybe the most useful thing for some of you out there. This was a day I knew I was going to be out on the Strip in Vegas. It's going to be golfing, drinking, hanging out at the casino all day. Early in the morning when that's going to happen, what I do is I stick to like pure protein until I go out that night. So I still took my protein shakes and my supplements. I actually worked out this day in the morning. I did just chicken breast cutlets. So that was, 260 calories and 55 grams of protein. So that
that's kind of like the key. There's a lot of protein up front. Then I was out on the golf course. I think I had the hot dog on the golf course and I had the burger for lunch after. Again, these weren't all when I ate them. It wasn't necessarily lunch and dinner, but I usually just type in the beer I'm going to drink for dinner. So I had allocated myself 8 beers that day. I ended up going 2 beers at 805, 6 bottles of Coors, and usually I just pick a beer that's about the right calories. Someone had pizza, and I basically just ate the pepperoni off their pizza late at night because I knew I already had a lot of carbs and calories from beer. And then I had some whiskey too. Because we were walking around so much, I actually burned over 4,000 calories that day, and I only ate 2,800 calories here. So I was actually more cautious than I needed to be. If I look at my protein, I still got 189 grams of protein. I hit my one gram per pound basically. So if I didn't tell you what I did this day, and you just looked at this, you go, oh, you ate 190 grams of protein, and you ate 2,800 calories when you burned over 4,000. That's a pretty good day. I definitely lost weight that day, and you didn't look at what I was actually doing with my life, which was going out and drinking in Vegas. You can do this, right? You can't just say I'm going to have a cheat day because I'm going to go out, not care about anything, and just eat whatever and chalk it up as an extra cheat day. You can still have a great time, eat what you want. I ate a burger, I ate a hot dog, I drank a bunch of alcohol. But earlier in the day, I accounted for that, and I just didn't go crazy when I went out at night. This is just an example of how powerful it is when you can track and it helps you control what you're eating, especially when you're going out and drinking.
Since this is Engineer Your Body, I like to try to end most of my videos with summarizing with formulas. For this video, it's pretty straightforward. Your calories eaten and drunken, so that's the calories you've eaten, and any of the alcohol that you're drinking should be tracked, and that should be equal to or less than your calories burned. If you're bulking, it could be 10% more. But for most of you, you're trying to lose or maintain weight. That's what you need to make sure of. You still need to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And when alcohol is in your system, try to avoid eating carbs. As I mentioned, your body will store that as fat. Simple as that. Now you can drink responsibly.